Hi guys, I'm Joshua Boymoto, and I just wanted to talk to you really quickly about how I got used to riding my motorcycle. And really, what I would do is I would practice around um, these neighborhoods right here. I mentioned in a previous video that I never really rode it the first couple weeks, or at least not out in the traffic. And I don't know, I was really scared at the time, which is kind of lame, but it's whatever. I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was doing before I took it out on the roads and stalled out in front of everybody. Um, but yeah, I mean, the first thing that I did was I went out and got some gear. And in terms of my gear, I don't really have anything that's really crazy. I mean, I just went to Cycle Gear and I just got some gloves and I got a jacket and helmet and I actually got some boots too. I'm not wearing them right now. And basically all my stuff is built because a lot of the stuff at Cycle Gear is the brand is built, and that's really what I have. I mean, it's cheap. It's pretty decent. I mean, it's not like it's amazing quality. I mean, like you can see right here, my gloves kind of ripping already, but it's got a 5 year warranty on it, so I'll just take it back and get some new ones. But yeah, the first thing I did was go out and get some gloves. Um, After that, I watched a lot of videos about like how to take off without stalling. And really, when I first started, I was I was having some problems finding that friction zone of where I could take off and not stall. Because all the time I'd come up to stop signs and whatnot, like stop signs like this, and I go to take off and I'd be like, boom, and stall out. So it was really hard for me to find that friction zone. So I'd I'd watch videos, and one of them, I don't remember where it was. One of them was saying if I do a 6 count of letting out my clutch from holding it all the way in as so to being all the way out, if I do a 6 count, by the time I get to around 3, I should be in that friction zone. So for example, if I started counting right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see that around 3 and 4, I started to move on my own. I wasn't applying any gas. I was just using the clutch. I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I start to move forward. What I first did to get used to this or get used to taking off was just practice finding the friction zone, just rocking back and forth like so. And after I started moving like this, then I would apply gas. So I'd roll up to stop signs. I'd roll up to stop signs nice and slow. My neighbors watching me and all that good stuff. And I'd start counting like 1, 2, 3. Once I started rolling, then I would apply gas. And I did this just because I was really nervous about stalling. I got to a point where I didn't think I would never stall because I was stalling all the time, and sometimes in front of people. I even started to wonder, like, man, like, what's wrong with the bike? Like, no, bro, there's nothing wrong with the bike. But pretty much what I would do is get going, get the takeoff, and then stop. Take off, then stop. And I did this for a long while. I did this maybe for like a solid like 4 or 5 days straight before even riding in traffic. I was really nervous about it. So this is what I would do. And once I got a little more confident, I took it out on the road. And I actually got this sense of this sense of confidence, which was actually should have been inaccurate or was inaccurate at the time. This fake sense of confidence. I was rolling down this exact street actually, and there's these high school kids right here waving me down. They wanted to talk to me about the bike and stuff, and I really did not want to stop and talk to them about my bike because I knew how bad I was at taking off. And so yeah, I stopped and they started asking me about the bike. Dude was like 15, like, yeah, man, I'm saving up to get my own bike, man. It's gonna be awesome. I was like, dude, that's cool. You know, have fun with it. Whoop de whoop, whoop de whoop whoop. And so I go to take off, and I'm trying to make a right turn down this way, and I put too much gas on it, and I got it rolling like crazy. I put too much gas, got scared, clutched up, let go of the clutch, still had the gas on. You guys that have been around probably know what I'm talking about. I whiskey throttled like super hard. At least I did have the clutch in, because if not, I would have died. But I went to take off, and I whiskey throttled pretty much right into that curb, almost hopped over the curb on the other side of the intersection over there into oncoming traffic. Oh, lame. But that was one of my I'd say that was my most embarrassing experience right there, in front of these little high school kids. Well, first I stalled at the stop sign, which is why I didn't want to stop in front of them in the first place. First I stalled, and he's like, hey, what's wrong with your bike? And I was like, I don't know, man, I just got it, bro, just got it. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I know him. And oh, there's a car behind me. And so yeah, I got it going the second time around, and then I whiskey throttled like a lame. On a 600, that's pretty dangerous. But luckily I did actually have the clutch covered. In all my franticness, the clutch was covered, so I wasn't going anywhere. It sounded like I was, but I wasn't going anywhere. Really what I would do is just mob up and down these streets right here. And watched a lot of YouTube videos. A bunch of how-tos on different things. And got used to it, so I decided to take it out on the road, and I was like, YOLO! If I stall out in front of somebody, YOLO! But luckily, I made it without stalling out in front of traffic. Yeah. And like I said, I learned a lot on YouTube. I took the MSF course to learn as much as I could. In terms of book work, let me raise this back. In terms of book work, I feel like I didn't really learn that much, because I had either read it while preparing for my permit test, or I'd seen it on YouTube. But I did get to practice a lot of the things that I had learned. But yeah, I just did that, and it's also made me aware of my surroundings a lot more. Riding a bike, because in a car you're surrounded by, I don't want to say the cage, but you're surrounded by the cage. On a bike, it's just you, dude. It's you, the bike, your gear, and your gear is your jacket and your helmet and your boots and whatnot. Boot, scoot, and booty. But yeah, I feel like being a rider's made me a better driver as well, which is kind of cray. Kind of cray. That's why I know you. You're married to my friend. This lady is like, what is going on? This guy is following me. Yeah, so that's about it. That's what I did to get used to riding. I'm sure it'll help you out as well. Practice that 6 count. By the time you get to 3, you're probably in a friction zone. Practice that, rocking back and forth and riding around your neighborhood, and you'll get it. If you liked it, go ahead and like, comment, possibly even subscribe, or my favorite troll. Catch y'all later. Peace.